Oppenheimer, after dropping the atomic bomb, quoted the Bhagavad Gita and said, "I have become the destroyer of the world." Principles that he used are now powering the AI's NLP. Actually, that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it only transforms from one form to another. That was discussed in Atharvaved. Why is the Vedas so good that the entire world and not just India wants to work on the translation? The credit for any major discoveries is always taken by the West, be it atomic bombs, radio, major mathematical formulas, surgeries, etc. But when you read through the Vedas or Gita or Mahabharata or Ramayana, you learn that all of these things were already being performed in India thousands, if not tens of thousands of years before any of these discoveries were published formally. Today in this video, let's talk about that. Hello, I'm Shruti and I've been on this channel since the past around 1 month, and finally I decided to make a long form video instead of publishing a short form one. Let's try it out. In this video I'm going to divide it into majorly 2 parts. First, we are going to dig in deeper and talk about the Vedas, because many people have heard the name Vedas, but they don't know anything about it formally. Okay, they are there, but what are they? How did they come to us? When were they written? Who wrote them? And then we're going to talk about some scientists who made the discoveries in the BCE CE age, which was thousands of years before any discovery was published formally. And this way, India actually shaped the modern world that we are living in. Okay, so the Vedas were written between the years 1500 and 500 BCE. They were no scientific textbooks, they were actually encoded principles which later on turned out to be physics, maths, biology, etc. And there's no one Veda, there are actually 4 Vedas: Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Samaved and Atharvaved. Now, before digging in deeper about each and every Ved, let me tell you this one thing: they were not written by one author. There was no one who actually wrote them. They are called Aparuseya. That means they were not written by one man. Instead, they were revealed or Shruti to different rishis when they were deep into their meditation. Here, Shruti means revealing or telling somebody something, not my name. Okay, so out of the 4 Veds, Rig Ved came first, and it carries the most information about the universe. It even mentions things like singularity in it. Then came Sam Ved, which deals with sounds and vibrations. The principles discussed in it match very much with the string theory. It tells that the universe runs on sound, or in that they call it Nada. Then came Atharvaved, which talked about energy and conservation. You all would have heard this thing that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it only transforms from one form to another. That was discussed in Atharvaved. Atharvaved even talked about medicine a lot. In that in particular, Chakra Samhita and Sushruta Samhita were discussed. I've already made a short form video on Sushruta Samhita. I'm going to talk about it a little today as well, but in that I've described it pretty well, so if you want to check it out, you can check it out here. And the last one which came was Yajur Veda, and it contains the formulas for different rituals. Okay, now you would have heard that the Sanskrit written in the Vedas is so tough that people are not able to translate it. There are no modern people who know Sanskrit so well that they can translate it. Even many scientists are working on the translations of it. Why so? Why is the Vedas so good that the entire world and not just India wants to work on the translation? Okay, first comes the intellectual depth. It talked about subjects like mathematics, cosmology, astronomy before any other textbook did. It is like the oldest encyclopedia that we have had. Even Rig Veda has certain formulas written in it which are precursors to the modern physics. Then comes universality. In Rig Veda, something like Nasadya Sukta was discussed. In that, the book questioned if the universe even started from nothing, the way it is described in the Big Bang theory, which matches a lot with the current Big Bang debate going on around the globe. And then the most important part, the influence of it on the global. Around the 19th century, many different translators who had a knowledge of Sanskrit and English tried to translate the Vedic thought. They were able to do that a little bit. People like Max Muller have already done it. You can check out their book on Amazon also if you want to. Now, these translations inspired the German philosophers as well as the modern physicists. Even Oppenheimer, after dropping the atomic bomb, quoted the Bhagavad Gita and said, "I have become the destroyer of the world." Thus, all these old Indian scriptures are very important to the current humanity because they are the oldest encyclopedia that humans have right now. But sadly, they were so well written that we are not able to translate them. If you come from India or if you're from anywhere and still respect the thought that the Vedas bring to the world, you should try and read the translations that are available to us because they carry a lot of knowledge which the current books also do not. Okay, now let's talk about the ancient scientists from India who made major discoveries and inventions in the CE period, and they left an impact on the entire world, and the modern discoveries that are being made are actually being made on those principles. First comes Panini. He worked between the 5th and the 4th centuries BCE, and he is known as the father of linguistics. The formal work that he published is called Ashtadhyay, which when translated into English means 8 chapters. He laid foundations of generative grammar and used meta rules, transformations, and recursion. The same principles that he used are now powering the AI's NLP, natural language processing, and are also being used in Google Translator. The next scientist that we are going to talk about is named Kannada. He worked during the 6th century BCE and he was an atomic theorist. He said that everything around the universe is made out of tiny indivisible particles called Anu, which we now know as atoms. He said Anu plus Anu leads to dyad, dyad plus dyad leads to molecule, and molecule plus motion leads to any object in the world. Many of us think that John Dalton discovered the atom in the 1800s, but this was done 2000 years before him by Kannada. Next comes Charaka. He worked during the 2nd century BCE and is known as the father of medicine. His work, Charaka Samhita, is the foundational Ayurvedic text that we have now. He classified diseases, treatments. He also talked about the circulatory systems in his books. Next comes Sushruta, who worked during the 6th century BCE. He is known for his work called Sushruta Samhita. Sushruta was also known as the father of surgery. In the book Sushruta Samhita, he describes over 300 surgeries and over 120 surgical equipments. He even talks about plastic surgery and cataract surgery in his book. Next came Aryabhat, who worked during the 499 BCE. And he was an astrophysicist and an astronomer and a mathematician. The formal work that he published was published in a book called Aryabhatiya. He made many major discoveries, from discovering the value of pi to telling the entire world that the earth rotates around its own axis, and even introducing things like sine and cos to us. He was one of the major mathematicians that India had. Next came Brahmagupta, who worked around the 498-600 CE, and he is known as the master of zero. Many of us think that Aryabhat discovered zero, but it wasn't him. It was actually Brahmagupta, and I've already made a video on that as well. You can check it out over here. In that also I've described very well how Aryabhat was not the one who discovered zero, and it was Brahmagupta. Brahmagupta published a book called Brahmasphata Siddhanta. He discovered the number 0 and introduced the quadratic equations to us. He even gave us some equations like a into 0 is 0, a minus a is 0, 0 divided by a is 0. Next came Bhaskaracharya III, who was the pioneer of calculus. His work Siddhanta Shiromani contains things like differential calculus. He said if there is a position, and then there's a small change in time, and then there's a small change in position, then that leads to velocity. Next came Nagarjuna, who worked around the 2nd century CE. He was an alchemist and a chemist. His work is called Rasarat Nakara. He told the world about the processes like distillations, alloys, acids, and how to work around with them. He even worked with things like gold and silver. He laid the basis for pharmacy and metallurgy. He told the world that if a substance is heated, heat will be there, and then condensation will lead to vapors, and which will lead to purified liquid. I could not extend this video to a very long length, that is why I kept the number of scientists limited. But only from these 8 to 9 scientists that I talked about, you would have gotten an idea of how much Indians already told the world and the credit for which was taken by the West. I've made many videos like zero, radio, all of those things which were invented in India, but the West eventually took the credit for them. Sadly, no one wants to talk about it. We just accepted that fact that okay, we got it from them, so what's the point of arguing? But the sad part is that none of these scientists got any Nobel Prizes. They did not even get any recognition, and their books are there somewhere in the background and hardly people are reading through it. And that is why I created this channel, to bring India to the world again in the field of science, to not just let it be hidden anymore, because even currently we are doing a lot in a very limited budget that ISRO is running on. Still, we are doing a lot. We are even now launching humans into space, which would be a very big step taken by a country. Anyhow, coming now towards the end, I've actually planned around 3 more topics to discuss about in the next video. I'm going to pin them over here so that you can read through them. Tell me which one you like the most if you're watching this video. Tell me which one you like the most in the comment section. I'm going to read through the comment section and then decide as per your vote which topic should I talk about during the next video. Until then, have a good day, have a good life, and I will keep on uploading shorts every day without fail, so just stay over there. Bye bye.